There are some really cool monster details that you wouldn't normally see in game, but through what looks like a dev kit or mod kit of some kind, you can preview different animations, models, and other things within the game to get a better look at monsters up close. So credit to T-Common Shark, who originally posted these on Reddit, which is where we saw this, but I also looked into it a little bit, and they also have a fantastic YouTube channel with some more really cool stuff that you should definitely check out that will be linked in the description down below. If you do enjoy this video, let us know in the comments if you have any other secret monster details that you want to share. Of course, drop a like and subscribe to the channel. I'm Paradise Central, and let's start off with DODOGAMA. Normally you'll see DODOGAMA munching on some rocks. Well, within the animation files apparently there is a good chunk of the Great Jagrass's eating animation in which it consumes an Aptonoth. This makes you wonder if DODOGAMA was meant to appear on different maps, or maybe even have different attacks or behaviours after eating the Aptonoth, kind of like Great Jagrass does. Interestingly though, the animation isn't complete, so they likely binned the idea and didn't commit any more time and resources to completing it for DODOGAMA, but this is really cool to see. As you know, DODOGAMA and Great Jagrass are similar when it comes to their skeleton and their size. They both eat things, so it's definitely plausible that maybe DODOGAMA was meant to also be munching on some Aptonoths, or at the very least on other maps where Aptonoths roam, and it could have been a really cool fight if that did make it into the full game. And speaking of cool fights, we're going to talk about FATALIS next. This one is super interesting to me. FATALIS actually did have a Clutch Claw Stagger animation. Being one of the harder fights in Monster Hunter World, a Clutch Claw Stagger would have really helped a lot of players when it comes to completing that hunt. However, we know in the full game that you can't stagger him this way, and so for whatever reason, they already made and finalized this animation on him for the stagger, but didn't actually implement it into the gameplay. So what do you think of this? Let us know in the comments down below. Would you have preferred to have been able to Clutch Claw Stagger FATALIS or not? It seems to me like a bit of a waste to go to all of the effort to make the animation and then not include it in the gameplay. And next up is GOSS HARAG. I definitely never knew this one from just playing the game, as you don't really get close enough in game to see these kind of details, but GOSS HARAG actually has horizontal pupils in its eyes. Goats, sheep, deer, horses, frogs and toads all have horizontal pupils, and one advantage to these slit-like pupils is that they allow the iris to contract and expand more dramatically, and this is a useful trait for nocturnal species whose eyes are designed for low light levels, and it also protects their eyes from the bright light of the day. So it could be possible that GOSS HARAG is a nocturnal monster, or it could be possible that being in a snowy habitat, that the light reflected off of the snow is quite bright for the eyes of the monsters there, so GOSS HARAG may have evolved naturally to have these horizontal pupils to help mitigate some of that light and the reflection off of the snow. Of course, this is just my own speculation, I could be wrong, but next up we're going to go over Anjanath, who has a bunch of animations that look like he's trying to escape from something. It could be vine trap animations or some kind of stagger, but it does kind of look like it could be running in water. Could this possibly have been from a cut turf war or interaction of some kind with Lagiacrus from before the game was released? Let us know what you think of this one down in the comments below and what this could be from. And next is a tiny small detail on LUDROTH, where on its back leg fins it actually has a single little toe. Nothing else or anything interaction wise, just a small detail that I definitely missed when fighting them. Another small detail on both Diablos and BAZELGEUSE. Both of these monsters are different from the other flying wyverns in that their toes do not curl inwards when on the ground. I tried to think of a reason why these two monsters specifically are different, but apart from them both having pretty rigid materials on their body, which would result in a lack of movement, I couldn't really think of anything else. And my personal favourite next is the Wigglers. My life has forever changed now that I've seen the bottom of the Wigglers. The amount of times I've seen these in-game but never thought what they would look like under the ground, well now we know they have one large and two smaller little fins that I don't know why this one intrigued me so much. I never really thought about it this far, but it's really interesting that they included this on their character model, considering that you never ever see this in game. And next up is NERGIGANTE, who actually does have visible ears, which I personally had never noticed before. You likely would never see these in the heat of a hunt, but under his horns you can see these details of an ear sort of thing that is inlaid in the scales and spikes on the side of its head. It's a really minor but cool detail, and it really does show the attention to detail that the Monster Hunter World team had when it comes to these big flagship monsters. NERGIGANTE already looks so cool, and it's really nice to see that even now, years after world launch, he has details in his character model that at least I've never seen before. Next up is TIGREX, apparently the only wyvern with a barbed tongue texture. Of course, TIGREX is inspired by a cross between a tiger and a T-Rex, and while tigers don't have barbed tongues, they do have very rough tongues, and these are believed to help them when it comes to eating wild prey. And dinosaurs, to my understanding, are believed to be the ancestors of our modern birds. And interestingly enough, eagles also have a barbed tongue to help them swallow and keep prey down. So maybe TIGREX has a barbed tongue to stop unlucky hunters from getting away once it's got a lucky bite on them. Next up is RATHALOS, where it has movement in the spikes on the back of its head. It's used in other animations, but it's another small detail that adds to the realism and immersion of hunting these monsters. These kind of smaller details are what make the world and the battles in Monster Hunter feel so engaging, and to be honest, they just make it come to life. Another one is BRACHYDIOS, where we can see it actually move its fingers, although this is only used in specific attacks, but again, it's small details like this that really increase the immersion and bring the world to life. And then next is BISHATEN, who actually has a little pouch on its stomach, something like a kangaroo would have, and you can see here it even opens up a bit so you can really see that it is a pouch. This is 100% something that I didn't realise while hunting them, so I was kind of blown away by this detail and how they keep surprising me each time. Again, credit to T-Common Shark, who is linked in the description down below. Go and check out their fantastic videos showcasing these kind of details, and make sure to drop a like and subscribe while you're over there. Of course, let us know in the comments which of these secret monster details you like the most. Of course, do show your support by clicking like and subscribe down below, and of course the videos on screen now we think you will really enjoy if you enjoyed this one, so make sure to click them so that you don't miss out.